How you guys doing today? This is Darius from Down on the TV. Welcome to the channel. So today I kind of want to go on a rant and talk about why the end goal, the cheat code or end goal in the modern living is basically to gain your freedom as a man. Gain your freedom and you get what you want in the end. So the end goal for most men, because the 9 to 5 drudgery of just waking up, doing the same thing, and you have literally no time to yourself. And I was having a conversation with a friend, and I told him, I said, the system is made. Some people call it the matrix. I just call it the system. The system is made for us to be fat, unhappy, and addicted to porn for most men. And this is by design because if men are lonely, depressed, addicted to porn, unhealthy, then they cannot stand up to any injustices in the society. They can't say, "Hey, wait a minute. Why don't I have time to even see my family when I'm working 9 to 5? Dang, why are the family systems broken? Why is the family court this way when women can work?" So they want you to be depressed, lonely, fat, miserable, and unhappy. And there's two ways to go about it. Is either you can make change from within the system, which is too big and too strong, and most men are selfish, so they won't sacrifice as a community to for the greater good because the family system is broken, and most men have been raised by single moms or women. Even if the father's in the house, the mother has authority over the house. Hence, happy wife, happy life, which is a great travesty because a man is the head of the house. He is supposed to be the framework for the family. He is the pillar, and then everyone else is the bricks to add on to the home. And unfortunately, men don't have authority. So if men are raised mostly by women and that women have the last say in the home, then they're going to have female tendencies where they're going to be selfish, they're going to be short-term thinkers, they're going to be emotional. Hence why a lot of black men go to jail. The majority of black men going to jail is due to unable to control their emotions. They get angry, they kill somebody. They get angry, they beat up somebody. They're frustrated, they go rob and steal instead of pushing it through, working 2 jobs if need be to make ends meet. And so the thing is, the system is made for us to be feminine because feminine men don't do anything, just like women. So the system wants us to be feminized. So one of the solutions is to fix the system from within if you don't like how it's built. But that's way too hard, almost damn near impossible because most men aren't willing to sacrifice. So the second option, which is more liable, is to leave the system, leave the matrix or leave the system and go to a country where you're appreciated, where you can prosper, where you can live your life with joy and be able to fulfill your purpose, which is to help your fellow man, to help uh, the needy, the helpless, as the Lord says, because people don't understand that Christ didn't talk about politics. He didn't talk about any of those things. The number one thing he talked about when they asked what were the greatest of the commandments in the Bible, it wasn't to wear certain type of clothes or anything stupid like that, or eat like this, or do this, or wear this type of sash. He said one of the greatest commandments is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength. And number two is to love thy neighbor as you will love yourself. And when I read that, if back in the day I didn't catch it, but now I do. I'm like, dang. So to be able to love a stranger, to treat them well and take care of them if they need help, if they're hungry, you buy them a good meal, something that you would do for yourself. If they're cold, give them your jacket. He emphasized helping one another as brothers and sisters over making money, over doing rituals and traditions. And so if you leave the matrix, then if you live in a country, in a third world country, you could do a lot of good because there's a lot of people who need help. And if you're making US dollars where your money is 3, 4, 5x that of a local, you're immediately in the top 10% in that country. So I would say that leave the matrix, leave here in the United States or Western Europe, and go where you can prosper best because life is too short. Life is full of pain and misery, and it's best to just take a risk and go where you can be the most happiest, or not the most happiest. Men shouldn't care about happiness, but you can receive the most joy in your life, where you can be joyous and you can fulfill your goals as a man, basically to help your fellow brethren. And that could be in Thailand, Africa, Colombia, Brazil, DR. It can be any one of those places that's outside of the system, because unfortunately, there's no reward in being successful in the United States. Because let's say you make six figures. Well, the woman, once you marry her and have kids, she has full legal authority to rule your life. Let's say you have a disagreement and she doesn't want to listen to you and obey. Well, she can kick you out the house and call the cops. And then you still have to pay the bills, and she puts you on alimony and child support. So how are you winning? Even if you have money, you still don't win in the States. That's why I say the cheat code is to leave the States and go somewhere where the chick just can't put you on alimony and child support, where she wouldn't even be combative like that and ruin her family over some civil disagreement, over a dumb disagreement that doesn't even mean anything. And so I would tell guys, that's probably the best thing that you can do, because working 9 to 5, waking up 6 in the morning every day is miserable. It sucks because you don't have time to hit the gym as much as you want. And let's say you do hit the gym, you're half-assing it because you're tired from waking up at 6 in the morning. You got to commute an hour to work. And this is why remote work is so valuable. Many people would do anything to get a remote job. Even if it's a 9 to 5, just being able to be in your home where you don't have to deal with office politics, you don't have to deal with the anxiety of traffic, is so valuable. And imagine you have a remote job, but your rent in, let's say, Mexico is $500 a month, but you're making $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. You can live like a 1%er. And then you can get a local, beautiful woman who's submissive, obedient, feminine. She's coachable. She'll follow your lead, and she won't destroy your family over any arguments or disagreements. And she's more kind and more down to earth. If you can get you a good one, of course, because female nature is everywhere, but the environment is what tames female nature. And so I was telling my friend that the cheat code to life is to basically go to a system where you're appreciated and you make US dollars. Then you can have time to do other things. You can get a six pack. You can learn another language. You can do that business you want to do. I'm writing my science fiction book, but it's a little bit harder because I work 9 to 5. And then I only get, after I get off work at 5, it's an hour commute to get back home. And then I have to cook because I don't go out to eat because most restaurants are overpriced and terrible. And then you got to hit the gym. That's an hour, hour and a half. So by the time you come back home, it's almost 9 o'clock. And then you take a shower and prep. And then it's like 9:30. And then if you go to bed at 10:30, you only have an hour to yourself. Think about that. Out of 24 hours, you only have 1 hour to yourself. That's why most people are depressed. This is why most people are fat and unhealthy. And this is all by design, of course. So I would say get a remote job by any means. When my lease is up, I'm gone. My lease won't be up until next year in August. So once my lease is up, I'm out of the States and I'm not looking back, and I'm taking a risk, and I'm saving a lot of my money anyway. So I would suggest you have an exit plan to get a remote job, gain some new skills while you're still here in the States, and then leave, because life is too short. You might as well take the risk. The worst case scenario, you got to move back in with your parents and start over and work again. But the memories you would have living in Thailand or Vietnam or Japan or Brazil, those memories you won't regret it. My friend, he only had $3,000 in his bank account. And you know what he did? He went straight to DR. He went straight to DR and he spent all that 3 grand. And he spent about a week or so in DR. And he said he doesn't regret it, not one bit. He didn't regret losing that 3 grand because the memories and experiences that he had was worth losing the money, because you can always make bread back. You can always make money back. But the joy you have of being able to be your true masculine self, because the thing about being in the States is that a lot of men can't be themselves because they work with women. They're always around women, and women's sensibilities are different than men's. Women are more sensitive. They get offended easily by men's sensibilities. And so you have to suppress yourself all the time. And unfortunately, men have to suppress themselves so much. Women are complaining that men aren't men anymore. Well, of course, men aren't men anymore, because if men act like their true masculine self, where they're bold, where they're aggressive, where they're firm, women would be claiming they're misogynist, or women will feel uncomfortable around such masculine energy. But they complain that men aren't men anymore. And you see, the paradox of this is insane. This is why men and women were separated, where women did their jobs, men did their jobs separately. And I think we need to go back to that, unfortunately. And it's sad because women can't will over their nature to understand that men and women are different, and that you shouldn't try to be friends with a man knowing that men and women's sensibilities are different. Men and women were meant to be together in relationships or to work together towards a goal, but not to be friends with each other, because that's not a normal thing. Because men want women to be in a relationship with, or their family. That's it. Or to work together as coworkers. But unfortunately, that can't be. So I would tell men to get an exit strategy, as I'm planning on having an exit strategy as well. And that take the risk, lose it all if you have to. But if you can, escape the system, because you'll be in your 30s and 40s and 50s, and you're never married and you didn't even have kids. That's a very sad thing. And it shows, they said by 2030, over 75% of women of childbearing age will be single, childless, and lonely. And it's never been easier for women to find a good average guy, but they don't want those type of men. Even though the women themselves are broke, or they can't cook, they don't really offer much, and they're not even virgins. But they have these weird, unrealistic expectations. Most men are very self-sufficient. The average man is self-sufficient. You shouldn't be looking for him. If you yourself as a woman if you're self-sufficient, you have your own car, your own job, and things like that, you should look for a man for his personality more than anything. You shouldn't be trying to rely on him for financial if you yourself are already a functioning adult. Now, if you want a man to take care of you, you don't want to work, then you have to lower your standards. Because if you want a man to take care of you in this environment, only 13% of men make 6 figures or more. I think it's more like 10%. But I would tell guys that it's not worth it, because most women can't cook. They're not feminine. If you do all the things she wants, she's still not going to serve you. She's not going to rub your feet. She's not going to be obedient. She's going to be resistant to you. She's not going to give you sex when you want. She's not even a virgin. You're going to marry a woman who's not a virgin and she's not submissive. That's crazy. At least if you're not a virgin, be submissive and cater to your man. Serve him. Do the things that he likes to do. Quit thinking about yourself. And so this is why a lot of men are going overseas. And the system doesn't want you to. They want you to be stuck here miserable, paying alimony and child support, or just dying alone and paying taxes. And life's too short for that. So I'll say, men, take the risk, lose it all if you have to, but get out of the system. Anyways, this is Darius from Down on the TV. Thank you guys so much. Please like, click, and subscribe. I'm out.